Hey, Cloud Crusaders! Welcome back to Hack the Cloud, where we turn confusing tech talk into laughable fun. Now, what if I told you that running the entire internet was as easy as connecting two cans with a string? Just kidding. It's way more complicated than that. But don't worry. Today we're talking about the global network on Google Cloud Platform, GCP, in a way that won't make your brain melt. Let's dive in. Today, we're going to learn about how Google connects the world's data using fiber optics, regions, zones, and a whole bunch of other fancy terms that'll make you feel like a network engineer by the end. Ready? Let's go! What's a network anyway? So, first things first, what is a network? It's like a giant spider web of connected devices, all talking to each other. Imagine every time you send a cat meme, it's like you're passing a note in class. But instead of slipping it across a desk, you're sending it through this massive, magical spiderweb of cables and connections. Cool, right? Okay, maybe not this tangled. In the cloud, a network can be physical, meaning cables, routers, and switches. Or it can be logical, like a virtual party where all the data just knows how to talk to each other without needing to touch. Fiber optic cables, the super fast light highway. Next up, the real star of the show, fiber optic cables. This is like the Formula One of the internet. Instead of traffic jams or slow roads, these cables use light to transfer data. And let me tell you, light doesn't mess around. It zips your data around the globe at insane speeds. Fiber optic cables are how Google keeps your cloud services super snappy. Think of it like the world's fastest mail service, except it's sending bits of information faster than you can say cat meme. Internet, the big messy public highway. Then we have the internet, the public network of networks. It's like the highway system where all the world's data travels. But just like any public highway, you've got traffic, potholes, and a ton of weird road signs that say BGP. That's Border Gateway Protocol, by the way, how routes are exchanged between networks. Basically, if you've ever sent a text, streamed a video, or Googled a cat meme, you've been using the internet highway. Just be prepared for traffic jams, especially when your favorite cat video goes viral. Regions and zones, the cloud's neighborhoods. Now, let's talk about where the magic happens. Regions and zones. Think of a region as a whole city, like Google Cloud City. Inside that city, you've got a bunch of zones, which are like neighborhoods. And get this, each region has at least 3 zones, because we like to keep things redundant here in the cloud. That's a fancy way of saying, if one neighborhood has a power outage, your data's safe in another zone. It's like having backup homes for your data. No power, no problem. Your data just hangs out in the next zone like nothing ever happened. Point of presence, PoP, the gateway to GCP. Point of presence, or PoP, is basically the fancy front door to Google's network. You know that feeling when you walk into a fancy restaurant and someone opens the door for you? Well, PoPs are like the bouncers that let your data into Google's global network. These PoPs are spread out all over the world, connecting Google's massive network to the internet. It's like the most exclusive party for your data, and once it's inside, it can travel at the speed of light across Google's fiber optic network. Fancy, huh? On-premise, the old-school data center. Now, before we go all cloud, let's give a shout-out to the old-school crowd, on-premise data centers. This is when companies own their own data centers and manage everything themselves. It's like having your own personal server room, but it comes with the responsibility of dusting it off every once in a while. It's still pretty common in the business world, but let's be honest, going full cloud is way cooler. Local Area Network, LAN, the Office Gossip Network. A local area network, or LAN, is like the Office Gossip Network. It's where all the devices in one geographic area, like your office, talk to each other. If your coworker sends you a meme over the LAN, it's like they just passed you a note. It's fast, it's close, and it's just for your team. But it's also limited to the office. So unless you like carrying your office on your back, you might want something more global, like Google Cloud. Virtual LAN, the digital VIP room. Now, imagine you want to create a private group within your LAN. You create a virtual LAN, or VLAN. It's like having a VIP room at a party, where only the people on your list can join. Even though you're in the same building, the VLAN keeps certain conversations separate from the general crowd. So, even if devices are connected to the same physical network, A VLAN helps keep things organized and secure, like a private chat in a noisy room. Wrap up, the global network party. So what did we learn today? Google Cloud's global network is like a massive party where your data can travel at the speed of light through fiber optic cables, enter the VIP area via PoPs, and hang out in different regions and zones. And whether it's cruising through a LAN, a VLAN, or chilling in an on-premise basement, your data's always got a place to go. Thanks for tuning in to this whirlwind tour of GCP's global network. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Hack the Cloud for more fun cloud adventures, and let me know in the comments. Are you a fiber optic fan, or do you still prefer the LAN life? Until next time, keep your data dancing.